If we watch the sun setting on the horizon, we might think it's going to rest after a day's work, or perhaps that it will continue bringing life and warmth to other continents. But if a philosopher and an astronomer were also observing, we would notice they would interpret it in completely different ways. While one would be busy narrating the journey of the Star King through the evolutionary realms, the other, in their own way, would provide measurements and systems to prove the planetary cosmic balance. We might then think that such observations are distinct and have nothing in common. One heads in one direction and the other in another, correct? However, if we imagined other people also describing this moment, poets, atheists, religious individuals, ordinary people, what conclusions would we get? Would everyone say the same thing? Would it be different? Or perhaps they wouldn't choose at all? Well, you may conclude that there will always be a variety of different interpretations for the same event, and that agreement may or may not occur. But which of these conclusions would you classify as the most correct? Mine, yours, or theirs? Now do you realize that a simple fact or event can trigger a wide range of different considerations? And that perhaps we have proof of how complicated it is when we begin to accept everything we were told exactly as it was said. Therefore, it's essential to evaluate the sources to see if they are valid, to ponder the elements that may be implicit, as there are other nuances at play that must be considered. When we form the habit of responding without thinking, often formalized by a lack of good judgment, it results in emotional distortions that generate personal conflicts. Because at the moment someone gives in to pointless arguments, their emotions rest on their own truths. This explains the types of social rifts and cheap formalism that prevail nowadays, the utter lack of commitment to truth that many align themselves with. Life with these dangerous plots entangles so many in the heat of the moment when there is no prerogative to consider consequences. Many situations happen like this and explain human problems throughout history, because when there is no prior reflection, stupidity takes over. Therefore, it is urgent to understand that there will always be an unequivocal subliminality in everything we touch, in every piece of information or idea presented. And once we realize this, human relationships become easier to manage. We need to stay alert in these moments, since we must be the architects of our own destiny, artisans of our own virtue, where understanding facts favors our lucidity, proving that a life without major mishaps is possible. Have you already noticed when you're being caught in these biases, these traps that social interaction sometimes imposes? Have you realized that paths seem to close when you choose a poor solution? If you're already able to act this way, congratulations, you're on the right path. However, it is important to remember that life has many phases and presents itself as a staircase leading us to self-awareness. And anyone who perseveres in remaining balanced, even amidst afflictions, will triumph. This metaphorical staircase is reflected in our personal victories. For when we stop on a particular step, we only move forward after understanding the lessons in progress to then ascend to the next level. However, for those who have already learned how life works and allow themselves to gain experiences from daily events, they will have no problems, because they have discovered their own truth, which becomes like personal aquariums that radiate peace and beauty to those who observe them. Since their actions and noble character become the most beautiful fish their personality displays. These types of aquariums contain the best each person has to offer, traits of unique behavior and correct choices that, under their own judgment, foster harmony and kindness in the construction of life. From there, they will draw the means to understand their own questions, their spiritual quest in such a contradictory world. For despite the many interferences life brings, they understand the intrinsic unity in all things. In these aquariums, dreams and secrets take turns. Doubts and fears face each other in clear waters, yet there is no insecurity because there is care in dealing with setbacks. There is calm and reflection to deal with problems. To harmonize oneself is, therefore, the only way to remain balanced in a chaotic world. Amidst the environments that life places us in, be they social or familial. For what matters is to listen without contesting, to hear without responding to provocations that shatter peace. And if you can do so, then you will avoid the world's traps and achieve such a spontaneous and wonderful result that it will surely color your own aquarium, always in the light, Namaste.